You're not poor because your income is low. You're poor because you spend like there's no tomorrow. Each paycheck arrives and vanishes, not because someone stole it, but because you burned it yourself. With credit cards, impulsive shopping, and a life without structure. Don't blame inflation. Don't blame society. You're sitting on a financial time bomb, and the 75-15-10 rule is the reverse trigger that forces you to wake up. It doesn't need you to be brilliant. It only needs you to face the truth. You're destroying your freedom with your own hands. Now let's break down this structure, exposing the raw truths no one dares to speak out loud. The 75-15-10 rule, a shock cure for weak financial habits. You don't need more money, you need structure. Many people believe personal finance is about income. Wrong, it's about allocation. The 75-15-10 rule isn't some casual tip, it's a wake-up punch to your finances. Without structure, every dollar becomes a traitor. It leaks through credit cards, meaningless spending, and emotional decisions. This rule isn't here to gently suggest, it's here to expose your reality. If you ignore it, don't expect anything to change. Its simplicity is deadly. It makes you run out of excuses. And once you're out of excuses, all that's left is the truth. 75% to live, 15% to grow, 10% to dream. Sounds simple? It is, but not easy. This simplicity is what makes it dangerous. Anyone can start or keep avoiding it. This rule strips away your illusions. You don't need another finance app. You need to face how you spend. If you can't handle these 3 numbers, forget managing your future. Success isn't about what you earn, it's what you allocate. And most people fail not from ignorance, but from denial. This rule forces you to confront what you've been avoiding, your own financial recklessness. What seems like a soft rule is a death sentence for undisciplined habits. 75-15-10 doesn't ask you to sacrifice everything. It asks you to take control. And that's what terrifies most people. They don't fear hardship, they fear change. But if you're not brave enough to manage your money, then money will always manage you. High or low income is irrelevant. Discipline is the real divider. Without it, your financial life is just chaos on repeat. The real issue isn't how much you make, but whether you're willing to break away from reckless spending. Dissecting the 3 numbers, a machine that distributes personal financial power. Look closely at these numbers. 75-15-10. They're not optional. They're a power structure. 75% for living, 15% for growth, 10% for dreams. Easy to understand, but most people are spending 110% of their income and still asking why they're broke. The truth is brutal. The problem isn't money, it's the absence of control. That's what turns people into modern slaves, working endlessly, yet always drowning in bills. These 3 numbers aren't just guidelines, they are survival lines. If you ignore them, you're not budgeting, you're digging your own grave. Take someone earning $3,000 a month. According to the rule, $250 for rent, food, transportation, $450 to invest or pay off high-interest debt, $300 for dreams, like a trip, a new laptop, or a skill upgrade. These are not suggestions, they're battle plans. People who dismiss this structure as not suitable are really just avoiding responsibility. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Even a broken compass works better than no map. And this rule? It's a damn good map for anyone serious about their future. These percentages are guides, not cages. If 10% savings feels too much now, start with 5%. If 15% investment sounds hard, cut your expenses until it fits. Flexibility doesn't mean weakness. It means adapting while still heading towards structure. The goal isn't immediate perfection, it's consistent discipline. Those who succeed don't wait for the perfect formula. They start with what they have and fix the rest along the way. The 75-15-10 rule is a track. Leave the track and you derail. No exceptions. Allocate or collapse. One wrong move in the 75% can ruin everything. The 75% chunk isn't your safety zone, it's the most dangerous territory. This is where most people crash. If rent, bills, food, and fun eat up 90% of your income, you're not living, you're suffocating. Don't use cost of living as your excuse. The real issue is your lack of strategy. No boundaries, no self-awareness, no control. That's how you burn every chance of financial growth before it even begins. Ignoring this chunk doesn't make it easier, it makes collapse inevitable. Imagine earning $3,000 a month, with 65% gone to rent and bills. That leaves just 10% for food, transport, entertainment. But most people don't stop there. They throw another 20% on takeout, shopping, and subscriptions. What happens? They dig into their investment and savings categories and convince themselves they're managing okay. That's not managing, it's self-sabotage. Spending more than your system allows isn't freedom. It's financial suicide in slow motion. And the worst part? You don't even see it happening until you're buried. Controlling the 75% isn't about giving up joy. It's about defining it. You can still dine out, but with limits. Watch Netflix, but not pay for every streaming platform at once. If you don't limit your wants, your needs will suffer. And when your needs collapse, everything collapses silently with them. This 75% zone is not a suggestion, it's a pressure point. If you don't lock it down, you will bleed out financially. The question is, will you control it or let it consume everything? Unlimited spending, the trap that keeps you broke forever. If you don't control your spending, forget about financial freedom. The truth? Most people who can't save are wasting cash daily. $6 coffees, 5 subscriptions, midnight shopping sprees. People rarely go broke in one big mistake. They collapse under thousands of tiny ones. Little habits become financial sinkholes. Every small, it's just a few bucks moment becomes a thread in the net that strangles your future. Overspending isn't bad luck, it's bad design. And it starts with denial. You want out? Track every dollar. 2 months of honest tracking will slap you with truth. You are the problem. The successful don't have special luck. They have clarity and control. They know where each dollar goes and why. Personal finance isn't a mystery. It's brutal arithmetic. No one escapes it. And the more you avoid facing your own data, the longer you stay broke, frustrated, and stuck in the same cycle that broke you in the first place. Creating a fun budget is your first act of rebellion. Set strict limits for dining, shopping, and hobbies, and stick to them. Not to suffer, but to survive. You can still enjoy what you love, but not without boundaries. If you don't draw a line, you'll keep crossing it. Unlimited spending looks good on the surface, but it's hollow inside. It gives you a life that feels rich, but traps you in a future that's poor. Stop lying to yourself. Joy without discipline is a weapon against your own freedom. The 15% investment, a small seed that grows into lifelong freedom. Investing isn't optional, it's non-negotiable if you want real financial power. The 15% for growth is often ignored because it doesn't feel urgent. But if you don't plant seeds today, you'll starve tomorrow. You don't need to be smart, you need to start. If you keep delaying, you're not preserving freedom. You're slowly killing it. The cost of delay isn't just missed gains. It's a future where you'll depend on luck, charity, or jobs you hate. Investing is the lifeline you're neglecting. Don't hide behind, "I don't understand investing." Begin with basics. Index funds, ETFs, or retirement plans. Even investing just $200 a month can become $880,000 in 20 years. That's not optimism, that's math. Those who think it's too little to matter never understand the power of time and discipline. Small investments compounded over time become unstoppable. And the only thing stopping you is you. There's no perfect moment, there's only now. The later you wait, the higher the cost. That 15% isn't for fun, it's for your foundation. First, build a $1,000 emergency fund. Then tackle high-interest debts. Then invest consistently. Once it's a habit, it's no longer a decision, it's protection. You're not putting money away. You're reclaiming your future from a system designed to keep you broke. If you're not investing, you're surrendering. To your job, to your bills, to your fears, and worst of all, to a version of yourself that never gets free. The 10% Dream Fund, fuel for life stolen by careless spending. Stop living like a machine that earns only to survive. The final 10% isn't just savings, it's the reason you keep going. It's the money for things that make you feel alive. Without dreams, you'll burn out chasing nothing. Every dollar in this fund is a commitment. You're not just working to pay bills, you're building something that matters. If you cut this fund, your life becomes a loop of exhaustion. The 10% for dreaming is not a luxury. It's the lifeline that keeps your soul from quitting. Don't name your account savings. Give it an identity. Italy trip, dream camera, skill course. The name isn't decoration, it's your daily reminder. It transforms money into motivation. You don't need millions. You need a reason, a target, something that makes you want to show up. Generic saving fails because it's disconnected from emotion. But once your fund has a name, it has meaning. You've made it real, and the more real your dream feels, the harder it becomes to abandon. That's how discipline turns into desire. Don't leave it to emotion. Turn it into a system. Automate 10% to your dream fund every paycheck. Let it happen before you even touch the money. When it's automatic, you remove your weakest link, your own inconsistency. And as that fund grows, your dream shifts from fantasy to plan. $250 a month might feel small, but in 12 months, it becomes a paid vacation. Big goals don't fail because they're impossible. They fail because no system was built to support them. Start now, or keep letting dreams rot under the weight of your own excuses. Discipline or chaos. How to maintain the rule in real-life storms. You can understand the rule, you can believe in it, but if you don't maintain it, it's useless. Discipline isn't about inspiration, it's about systems. Review your budget every 2 weeks or every month. Set reminders, write things down. Don't wait until your balance hits zero to realize something's wrong. Budgets don't fail from bad math, they fail from human denial. Those who win don't wait for the perfect moment. They create structure and keep showing up, even when life gets messy. Automation is your secret weapon. Stop trying to remember to save or invest. Set it and forget it. Automate 15% to investment, 10% to savings, right when the paycheck hits. Remove yourself from the equation, because you're the most unreliable part of the system. Successful people don't trust their willpower. They build defenses against it. They don't resist temptation. They remove the opportunity. The less you have to think about your finances, the more likely you are to stay on track. Let structure carry you where motivation fails. You'll mess up, you'll overspend, you'll forget a transfer. That's normal. The real failure isn't slipping, it's quitting. Give yourself grace, but get back on track immediately. Every time you return to structure, you win. This isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about showing up repeatedly. People who succeed aren't flawless, they're relentless. If the rule breaks, you fix it. If you fall off, you climb back. Over time, those tiny corrections compound into power. Financial resilience isn't built in big moves, it's built in the decision to try again. Financial structure, a rigid frame or a personalized launchpad. No rule fits everyone. 75-15-10 isn't a magic solution, it's a framework to begin. If you live in an expensive city, have student loans, or support others, you'll need adjustments. But adjusting doesn't mean destroying the system. Anyone using my situation is different. To avoid this rule is just dodging responsibility. Flexibility is not the same as chaos. This isn't about being perfect. It's about building a system that bends without breaking. Real power comes from knowing when to adapt without abandoning structure. Take someone earning $5,000 per month. Under this rule, $3,750 goes to living costs, $750 to investments, $500 to personal goals. But if essential expenses already take 80%, you need to cut non-essentials or find ways to earn more. Adjustments should sharpen discipline, not weaken it. This rule isn't concrete, but it's not Play-Doh either. Those who bend it strategically thrive. Those who bend it to excuse overindulgence end up broke. Know the difference. Customize wisely, or the system becomes a mirror reflecting your avoidance. Smart people don't ask, does this rule fit me? They ask, how can I make this rule work for me? Maybe 5% savings is your starting point. Maybe you invest just 10%. What matters is that you begin. The rule doesn't demand perfection, it demands motion. Are you moving forward or standing still? Financial mastery isn't about getting the numbers right from day one. It's about building a routine that improves over time. This structure won't work unless you do. And it doesn't fail unless you walk away. Rule or strategy, a flexible map for every stage of life. 75-15-10 is not law, it's a map. And a map is only useful if you know your location. At age 22, you might save more and invest less. At 35, you might increase investment and trim entertainment. Flexibility isn't in the numbers, it's in the mindset. Treating this rule as rigid will break it, but those who understand it as a compass, not a cage, turn it into a weapon. Life changes, so should your structure. The disciplined adjust, the careless collapse. Got a higher income this month? Great. Don't increase your lifestyle, increase your investments or savings. Need to clear urgent debt? Fine, temporarily divert more toward repayment. Just don't use adjustment as a cover for laziness. This rule is a guide, not a prison. But without it, you're blind. Those who ignore structure don't gain freedom, they drift. And drifting always leads to disaster. Choose your tweaks carefully. Every adjustment reveals what you value and what you're avoiding. The best strategy is the one you can sustain over time. It doesn't have to be beautiful on paper, it just has to work in your real life. Check in quarterly. Ask, does this structure still serve me? If you never ask that question, you'll never evolve. Financial maturity isn't about knowing more. It's about being brutally honest with where you are and being brave enough to pivot. People who stay stuck are often the ones afraid to admit their plan stopped working. Don't be that person. Financial freedom doesn't come from income, it comes from structure. You can earn $10,000 a month and still be broke. You can win the lottery and be bankrupt in 5 years. Not because you lacked money, but because you lacked structure. The 75-15-10 rule won't make you rich overnight, but it builds a spine for every financial decision. Freedom doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from how much you control. Without control, money betrays you, and freedom becomes a fantasy. Structure is what turns chaos into power. Review your spending. How much went to what truly mattered? How much went to building, and how much to escaping? If you don't have clear answers, your financial life has no direction. This rule exists to break emotional spending, marketing hypnosis, and peer pressure. It isn't here to suffocate you. It's here to set you free. And freedom doesn't belong to the impulsive. It belongs to the structured. Until you give every dollar a job, it will work against you. Start small, track everything, automate relentlessly, and most of all, stay consistent. Freedom doesn't show up after one good month. It comes after years of silent discipline. Every step forward is a brick in the fortress that protects your future. Stop chasing motivation. Build systems instead. Financial freedom doesn't require more hustle. It requires smarter structure. And that starts the moment you choose to take control. If you don't control your finances, you don't control your life. 75-15-10 isn't just a set of numbers. It's the line between those who rule money and those enslaved by it. You can ignore this rule, but don't expect freedom. Structure won't make you rich overnight, but it will stop you from falling into the trap of permanent poverty. Every dollar properly allocated is a brick laid toward financial freedom. Don't wait for a crisis to wake up. Wake up while you still have a choice. People don't fail because they lack money. They fail because they lack a strategy.